Hi everyone, Don Dotson from Dotson Designs, and welcome to the inaugural issue of Dotson Creates in Leather, Raw and Uncut. And that kind of describes what I'm doing here is I'm just throwing up the content because the content's more important than all that crazy fun effects. Today we'll be talking a little bit about what I'm trying to do with these videos. We'll also kind of talk about how to punch holes in leather for stitching, and a little bit about just making do with what you got and getting started. So enjoy. I've been kind of thinking of some different names we could maybe call this, because one of the things I was thinking that I'd really like to be able to do is have the minimum of production. And the reason is because I'm lazy. And because I figure it's more important to get the content out there than it is to freshen it up. And maybe I'll add cards or something in the front and stuff. But for right now, I feel it's probably more productive for me to actually get content out. So this will sort of be a very brief version of what I might be actually doing in terms of how it will work. And yeah, I'm encountering some issues because I'm actually using my webcam, so I have to look at that camera, but I'm looking at my laptop at the same time. And I need to work on some things like maybe getting a two-camera setup so I can switch between the cameras, because that would be really awesome. But again, I'm overthinking a little bit because that's what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that this is one of those episodes. And if any of my viewers out there do have any fun ideas for a title for this kind of thing, please feel free to let me know. Um, but we'll see how this goes. And again, this is just a practice, so it won't actually be content that'll be out there. Funny thing though, in terms of a thing, I was thinking of how non-specific and non-production value stuff I was going to do, and I thought, boy, wouldn't it be funny to call it like Naked Talk with Don Dotson, and meaning not that I'm naked because nobody wants to see that, but because I'm not going through all that crazy shit, because it really isn't me anyway. I mean, yes, it is, but it isn't. So it's just like we got zero production value. We're just going to kind of jump in here and go for it, because really that's part of what I like to kind of preach, is that too often we get so in our head and the content never gets out of there because we try to be perfect. And I'm sure discussions about perfection will definitely be up there in terms of things that I find are a stopping point for creative people and business people in general. So, and that's a perfect example of what I'm going to probably do a lot of. But today, what we're going to do is I'm going to be putting holes in leather, because that's one of the things you have to do in leather often. And it's going to be very momentary, but gives you an idea of what I might do and maybe some issues I encounter. This is going to make some noise, so maybe that's also an issue to consider. So first thing I'm going to have to do is I have to change my camera. So this is going to be very disorienting. Probably this might be the fact that I'd actually have to edit this out. Again, that whole editing and uploading thing is kind of a pain in the butt. I know you have to do it, but it would be kind of handy to not have to deal with that. So excuse me while your view goes wonky. You are not drunk, or maybe you are. So I'm going to put you over here so you can sort of see my work surface. Okay, looks like you can see it pretty good. So what you're looking at is, this is just basically a cutting board that I use to, when you're pounding stuff with sharp objects, you don't want to go through to this heavy granite countertop because it will damage the tools. So we have this softer material. You could use leather, you can use anything, but these things are great because they're a couple bucks and they're replaceable. They're easily replaced. And one of the things I'll probably talk a lot about is the notion of, I wonder what this would look like. Can I get both of me in there? Nope, sorry. One of the things is, doing with what you got. But I got these new tools. This is, I can't even pronounce the name, honestly. It's called Esquire. And I liked the fact that these were pretty burly prongs. This is used to make the holes in leather. Okay, so before, I don't actually force the needle through the leather by hand. I actually make a hole first, and these are nice because it actually has an evenly spaced prong. You can get a consistent stitch length without having to use a special wheel or anything like that. And the use of these is really very simple. I've already got this material here. This is a, do something with the lighting there, right? So this is a piece of leather that is got some lines in it. These are pre-grooved so the thread can sit in those lines. But, you know, the idea is that this will also give me an indication of where I need to put my stitching marks. Okay, so, and then I would adjust these when I put it on top of the surface. This is actually the back belt loop for a sporan. You know, one of those leather pouches a Scotsman or any kilt wearer would wear. So I'm going to punch these holes, and you're going to kind of see why. Now, one way I could possibly do this differently is I could actually put it on the surface, and I'd use some light adhesive to adhere the two together just temporarily until I put the holes in it. But for now, we're just going to do that. So I just line it up on this thing, on the groove that I already have, and then I take a lightweight mallet, and we can see we've got some movement in the camera there, but that's okay because we're just trying to figure out how this sucker's going to work. I have a little mount up here that's an overhead mount that I could probably use too. That would work. And then we put our holes in there. So as you can now see, there are holes in there. I don't know how. There you go. Okay. So I've got all those nice evenly spaced holes in there. I got to do the other side as well. So we'll do that real quick. And again, it's quick work. Depending on the size of the piece, sometimes I can use my hammer to lift up the neck to do the next set of holes. Sometimes I can't. And we're done. That's it. So now we have our holes in here. So then when we go to put it on the back of the piece, we can actually just, we'll use this to mark them. And then we can stitch through there. So there you go. That's how this works. And again, these tools here are really particularly cheap. They're like $13 for the set. There are people out there who spend hundreds of dollars for these particular stitching chisels. And I guess my point there is that, you know, sometimes you just need to make do with what you got until you get an understanding of what you need. I think that's one of the mistakes a lot of people make is they're trying to get the best of everything. And while that's a very valid ideal, it's not always pragmatic, especially when you're just starting out, whether you're starting out in a hobby, a craft, or a business. Maybe just getting something moving is better, and then you get a better feel for what it is you need. Some people don't do very little stitching at all. So, and that super expensive stitching chisel like this, like other people may purchase, is really a wasted use of resources. So I hope you liked my little video, first of many, but this again of course was a practice test session, so I can kind of see what's going on, give you a feel for what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably talk a little longer, and I'll probably be doing a combination of leather stuff, and then, you know, maybe just pausing to discuss, just like I am now, an important issue that has, you know, that's relevant to us, the creative space, us, the entrepreneur space, us human beings. And we'll see how that works. Right. So I'll probably have to come up with some really cool closure to thing like, you know, make good shit or something like that, which I'm leaning towards is, you know, okay, see you guys, create good shit. But for now, I'm just kind of seeing how this works. All right. And again, please give me your comments, thoughts. You can get as technical as you want, but some stuff I just have to practice, like looking into the right camera, things like that. So, see ya.